Judge Juan Merchan ruled that Donald Trump received an unconditional discharge. He won't serve jail time or pay fines, but is a convicted felon, banned from owning a firearm, and must provide a DNA sample. Judge Merchan's ruling means Donald Trump won't face jail time or fines. He'll be the first president to take office with a felony conviction, but this doesn't prevent his inauguration on January 20th. Yes, in the United States, there's no federal law that prevents a convicted felon from running for or holding the office of president. The Constitution sets qualifications like age, citizenship, and residency, but doesn't bar felons. However, state laws can impose additional restrictions, and there may be other legal challenges. Legal challenges could include potential state-level restrictions, questions about the interpretation of the 14th Amendment, and any ongoing or future legal proceedings that might arise. Additionally, logistical issues, like restrictions on voting rights for felons in certain states, could also come into play. Whether Donald Trump can vote depends on state-specific laws. In Florida, where Trump is registered, felons can vote after completing their sentence, which includes any probation or parole. Since Trump received an unconditional discharge, it might not affect his voting rights. However, it's always best to consult specific state regulations for clarity. Trump received an unconditional discharge in this case, meaning he won't face jail time or fines. However, being a convicted felon carries other consequences, like restrictions on firearm ownership. It's a significant legal outcome, but the term scot-free can be subjective. Yes, it is a significant and unprecedented situation, marking the first time a U.S. president has been convicted of a felony. It certainly carries a considerable stigma and may influence public perception. Foreign dignitaries might have varied reactions. Some could view it as a domestic legal issue, while others might see it as impacting his credibility. It could potentially influence diplomatic interactions, but each country's approach might differ based on their own interests and relationships. Moving forward with a conviction, Trump will have to navigate the legal and political implications. He'll likely face increased scrutiny and potential challenges to his credibility. This might impact his public image, political strategies, and interactions with both domestic and international figures. How he addresses and frames this narrative will be crucial for his future endeavors. Mass deportation plans would be complex and likely face significant legal and logistical challenges. Implementing such policies would require coordination across various government agencies and could face legal opposition. It would also likely provoke strong public and political reactions, both domestically and internationally. Presidential pardons are within the president's power and can be granted to individuals convicted of federal crimes. If Trump follows through with this, it would likely be a highly controversial move and could have significant political and social implications. Each case would be assessed individually, and the decision would rest with the president. If Trump views them as law-abiding citizens and chooses to pardon them, it would be a sweeping use of his presidential pardon power. This would likely generate intense debate and strong reactions across the political spectrum, as well as from the public and legal experts. It would be a significant move with wide-ranging implications.
President-elect Donald Trump was sentenced Friday to no punishment at all in his hush money case, an outcome that cements his historic conviction while letting him return to the White House unencumbered by the threat of a jail term or a fine. With Trump appearing by video from his Florida estate, the sentence quietly capped an extraordinary trial rife with moments unthinkable in the U.S. only a few years ago. It was the first criminal prosecution of a former U.S. president and major presidential candidate. The New York case became the only one of Trump's 4 criminal indictments that has gone to trial and possibly the only one that ever will. And the sentencing came 10 days before his inauguration for his second term.
This has been a truly extraordinary case. This court has determined that the only lawful sentence that permits entry of a judgment of conviction without encroaching upon the highest office in the land is an unconditional discharge. Never before has this court been presented with such a unique and remarkable set of circumstances. Indeed, it can be viewed fairly that this has been a truly extraordinary case. However, the considerable, indeed, extraordinary legal protections afforded by the office of the chief executive is a factor that overrides all others. To be clear, the protections afforded the office of the president are not a mitigating factor. They do not reduce the seriousness of the crime or justify its commission in any way. The protections are, however, a legal mandate. To be sure, it is the legal protections afforded to the office of the President of the United States that are extraordinary, not the occupant of the office. This court has determined that the only lawful sentence that permits entry of a judgment of conviction without encroaching upon the highest office in the land is an unconditional discharge. At this time, I impose that sentence to cover all 34 counts. Sir, I wish you Godspeed as you assume your second term in office.
If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content, and leave a comment below. See you next time.